Welcome, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Coming up right now, it's the Racing Podcast. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the one, the only, the Racing Podcast. This is show number 64, as we meet once again for the weekly ritual. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Emmanuel Allegretta. Racing Podcast available at apodradio.com, also available at Spreaker.com, #sports, and we switched it up a little bit at apodradio.com, so now you can catch the live broadcast at apodradio.com, and all you got to do is log on, and the show will start playing automatically. If you want to catch it on Spreaker, you have to use #sports. You got to use the actual hashtag. For some reason, if you just put sports, the Racing Podcast doesn't come up on the list. I don't know why, but if you use #sports and just look for the RP banner. So, good stuff. Thank you for tuning in. And let's get to it. So last weekend was a monster weekend at the Monster Mile, Dover International Speedway. Last Friday was last week's Camping World Truck event, the Lucas Oil 200. Winner Tyler Reddick in the 19 Ford, who led 50 laps, gained 1 point. Second place, Daniel Suarez in the 51 Toyota, dropped 1 point. And third place, Eric Jones in the number 4 Toyota, led 50 laps, also dropped 1 point. Last Saturday was last week's Xfinity Series event, the Buckle Up 200, presented by Click It or Take It. Winner Chris Buescher in the 60 Ford, led 10 laps. Second place, Matt Kenseth in the number 20 Toyota. He led 51 laps. And Reagan Smith came in third in the number 7 Chevy, gained 1 point. Sunday, last week's Sprint Cup event, the FedEx 400, benefiting Autism Speaks. Winner Jimmy Johnson in the 48 Chevy, led 23 laps, gained 2 points. Second place, Kevin Harvick in the number 4 Chevy. He led 91 laps. And third place, Kyle Larson in the 42 Chevy. He gained 2 points. So he had 3 Chevys, first, second, and third, once again. And this is Jimmy Johnson's 10th win, so now a 10-time winner at Dover. So last week, the FedEx 400, benefiting autism awareness, scheduled number of laps, 400. Actual is 405, because he had a nice little green-white checkered right there. The race started at 1:17 p.m. Eastern Time and wrapped up at 4:40 p.m. Eastern Time. And, of course, the Monster Mile, which is one of my favorite tracks. And, I gave some information about Dover last weekend, but I missed one important part. That in the infield is the Dover Downs Raceway, where they race the ponies. Air temp at race time was 88 degrees, track temp 106. Presentation of colors presented by the Dover Air Force Color Guard. Invocation, Dan Schaefer, pastor of Calvary Assembly of God in Hightstown, New Jersey. National anthem sung by Megan Ruga, Nashville recording artist. And the Gentlemen Start Your Engines announcement, Lisa Goring, Autism Speaks Executive Vice President of Progress and Services, along with Ken Adams, special guest of Dover International Speedway. Dale Jr. starts in the rear because of a rear differential change, and Bobby Allison waves the green flag to start the race. Martin Truex Jr. started second on Sunday. Of course, Martin Truex Jr. Led a whole bunch of laps last weekend before at Charlotte. Alright, so, so you had a top 3 at lap 4, which is Hamlin, Truex Jr., and Kenseth. Okay, then you had a top 3 at lap 27, which was Hamlin, Truex, and Kevin Harvick. Hamlin with a 0.76 second lead over Truex Jr. at lap 28, which would eventually grow to 1.06 seconds. Okay. Brad Keselowski had some issues, started 19th and dropped down to 21st at lap 33. Keselowski's teammate Joey Logano, the number 2 car, 5th place at lap 42. Top 3 at lap 47, Truex Jr., Kevin Harvick, and Denny Hamlin. Truex Jr. with a 1.04 second lead over Harvick and a 2.04 second lead over third place Denny Hamlin. Truex's lead would grow to 1.10 seconds at lap 46 over Kevin Harvick. Dale Jr. started in 42nd, moves to 26th as of lap 47. At lap 97, he moved up to 22nd. Truex Jr. puts Dale Jr. down a lap at lap 57. Then you had a top 3 at lap 66. Truex Jr., Kevin Harvick, and Denny Hamlin. Truex Jr. with a 1.59 second lead at lap 67. Jimmie Johnson gets into the top 5 at lap 66. Actually, the top 5 at lap 66 consisted of Truex Jr., Harvick, Hamlin, Kenseth, and Johnson. Truex Jr. with a 1.81 second lead over Kevin Harvick at lap 78. And then it comes down to question number 1, which came out at lap 74 for debris at turn number 1. Beneficiary, Aragon Marola. Pit road closed. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., 17. Now, okay, so can't be in the pit road because once the question comes out, pit road's closed, so you can't come in the pit. But Stenhouse Jr. was already in there when the question came out, so he did not get any penalties for that. The leaders do come to pit road at lap 75, however. And then you had a race off of pit road at lap 76, the 11 to 78, the 4 to 20 to 48, the 8 to 42, and the 10 respectively. Denny Hamlin comes across the line first, and the restart from question 1 would be at lap 80. Top 3 at lap 82, Denny Hamlin, Truex Jr., and Matt Kenseth. Okay, Denny Hamlin with a 0.45 second lead over Truex Jr., okay, at lap 84. Truex Jr., though, would take the lead, though, eventually at lap 143 for a little bit. And then we had 04 Joe Gibbs racing cars in the top 10 at lap 89. Denny Hamlin was in first, Matt Kenseth in third, Kyle Busch fourth, Carl Edwards in seventh. Source, NASCAR. Kasey Kahne gets into the top 15 at lap 104. Kasey Kahne was in 15th at lap 104 after passing Greg Biffle. Of course, Kasey Kahne in the number 5 car, and Greg Biffle the 16th car. I know I keep saying the car numbers because veteran drivers know all of the car numbers, but I still throw the numbers in there anyway because we might have some newcomers to NASCAR. Top 3 at lap 150, Truex Jr., Denny Hamlin, and Matt Kenseth. Truex Jr. with a 1.61 second lead at lap 150 over Denny Hamlin, which grew to 1.66, but then would drop to 1.25 at lap 154. David Gilliland speeding on pit road at lap 150. He gets penalized. Gilliland in the 38 car. Jimmie Johnson lightly contacts Mike Bliss, trying to lap Mike Bliss at lap 155. Bliss is in the 32 car. Johnson in the 48. And then you had green flag stop that started at lap 160. Alright. Then you had your question, the second question, which would come out at lap 163. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., 17 car, hits the wall off turn 1. And then you had an incident on pit road, Carl Edwards pulling out of his pit box with, the chassis wrench. Okay, so they adjust the chassis, alright? That's the wrench that they stick in the back of the car, right? So you got the holes in the back of the car there, right, where the back window is, and they stick the wrench in and turn it and adjust the chassis, raises and lowers the car. And the car started moving and the wrench was still in it. So the wrench came out, but there was still a little piece of the wrench in there because it's actually 2 pieces. And then Carl Edwards had to come back into pit to take care of that situation. Green flag comes out lap 168 and the restart lap 169. The top 3 at 170 was Truex Jr., Matt Kenseth, and Kevin Harvick. Hamlin actually dropped down to 6th place at that time. Third question comes out lap 175 for a crash, the number 6 car, and we'll talk about this later. This is Trevor Bayne, and he got popped with a penalty and suspended through December 31st because he got out of the car and was walking on the embankment at turn 1, which is a big no-no in NASCAR. But there was a 3-car incident, And it involved Mike Annett in the 46, Trevor Bayne in the 6, and Justin Allgaier in the 51. And the 6 car went into the wall, and he got called to the Halla post-race. That announcement came out at lap 181. Beneficiary from caution 3 was Eric Almirola in the 43 car. Trevor Bayne, he loses it, goes into the infield wall along the front stretch. Okay. Now, pit road opens and the leaders go to pit at lap 181. Brett Moffitt penalized for speeding on pit road. That was announced at lap 183, and Brett Moffitt in the 34 car. Green flag comes out lap 184, and the restart lap 185. Top 3 at lap 186, Truex Jr., Matt Kenseth, and Kyle Busch. The 78, the 20, and the 18, Truex Jr. with a 0.43 second lead at lap 188 over Kenseth. That grew to 0.61 seconds at lap 193. Okay, Joey Logano, he gets into the top 15 at lap 197. The only Ford in the top 15 at lap 197. The rest of the top 15 consisted of 4 Toyotas and 10 Chevys. Joey Logano at lap 201 was in 8th place. Race halfway mark at lap 200 with 200 of 400 miles completed. Stenhouse Jr. would return to the race eventually at lap 197. He was in 43rd. Top 3 at lap 212. Truex Jr., Matt Kenseth, Kyle Busch. Truex Jr. with a 0.43 second lead over Kenseth at lap 188. That would grow to 1.80 seconds at lap 213. Then would drop down to 168 at 214. Then it creep back up to 177. Then eventually to 183 at lap 218. Harvick moves to second place, though, however, at lap 223. Then you had Clint Bowyer, the 15 car, makes it to the top 10 at lap 214. Bowyer was running 9th at that time. He actually finished the race in 9th place. Jimmy Johnson running 5th at lap 220, runs 4th at 237, and of course he comes in for the win. Top 3 at lap 224, Truex Jr., Kevin Harvick, and Kyle Busch. Truex Jr. with a 1.60 lead over Harvick at lap 225, and that would drop down to 0.75 by lap 238. Now, Paul Menard leads Richard Childress racing team, breaking into the top 10 at lap 235. Paul Menard at lap 242 was running 9th. Of course, Paul Menard in the 27 car. Then you had some green flag pit stops at lap 238. The leaders do not go into pit, they stay out. Casey Kane, too fast, entering pit road at lap 250. Source, Fox. Dale Jr. penalized also for speeding on pit road at lap 250. He was penalized for speeding while entering pit road. Source, NASCAR. And Carl Edwards also popped for speeding on pit road lap 254. Gotta watch out for that speeding. And then uncontrolled tire penalty for Michael Annett's crew, loose tire, and that would actually bring out caution number 4. And the tire rolled across pit road and into the wall there, and it was just sitting there, and that brought out the 4th caution. Pit road was closed at this time, but they eventually would open it. And then you had some concrete issues on pit road. Tony Stewart's pit stall, they had some loose concrete there they had to take care of. They got the safety workers out there. And Clint Bowyer got popped for speeding on pit road, and that was lap 267. Green flag comes out lap 267, and the restart lap 268. Top 3 at lap 269, Kevin Harvick, Truex Jr., Kyle Busch. Harvick's lead, 0.90 seconds at lap 272, which grew to 1.91 seconds by lap 297, and it would eventually grow to 2.02 seconds at lap 300. Jamie McMurray reports his car is too loose. Jamie McMurray in the number 1 Chevy. That was reported at lap 287. McMurray was in 19th place at that time. Dale Jr. taps the wall lately at lap 286, but no caution comes out for that. So top 3 at lap 301, Kevin Harvick, Truex Jr., and Jimmy Johnson, the Ford 78 and the 48. Kevin Harvick with a 1.90 second lead over Truex Jr. at lap 302, which grew to a 3.08 second lead at 314. Now, okay,